Hello, this is Stephanie Shoemaker from the Missoula, Montana Soil Survey Office, here to present Glacier National Park Ecological Sites, ESDs, Raster Map, and Storymap. Glacier National Park is found in northwestern Montana and is an iconic area of stunning beauty, unique glaciated landforms, intact naturally functioning vegetation communities, and glaciers such as those shown above, Sperry, Jackson, Blackfoot, Logan, and Red Eagle glaciers. Soils are fundamental in ecosystem function. NRCS Soil Survey creates descriptions and maps of soils that are stored in the SSURGO database. The polygon map product by NRCS Soil Survey combines landscape-level soil map unit concepts with vegetation relationships through ecological sites. What is an ecological site? The definition is above, but succinctly, it is a unique kind of land. Ecological sites are described in ESDs, Ecological Site Descriptions, which include scientific literature review, narratives, and data tables for climate, physiography, which includes important processes, soils, and vegetation, which includes species lists, and a state and transition model, which encapsulates disturbance and restoration regimes. Ecological sites appear as repeating patterns on the landscape and are spatially correlated with soil components within map units. Soils are natural bodies which are formed by the integration of the 5 soil-forming factors: climate, organisms, relief, parent material, and time. All have an impact in creating the soil that we see on the landscape. NRCS Soil Survey produces both polygon and raster maps containing soil and vegetation information. Polygon maps display map units across the landscape, which includes the soil components found within each polygon, which is correlated to an ecological site. Raster maps assign each pixel to a soil series and correlated to ecological site. Each soil component references an official soil series or soil taxa within the soil taxonomy classification system. Interpretations for use and management of the soils can be derived from these soil components. Each is correlated to an ecological site that is described in an ecological site description, which are found within EDIT, online information system. Glacier National Park is predominantly in MLRA 43A, which contains the Northern Rocky Mountains. The eastern areas are MLRA 43B, which is defined as having a strong continental climate. The mountains of Glacier National Park has classic landforms which are formed from both continental and alpine glaciation. The steep elevational gradient and associated climatic factors cause there to be high rainfall west of the continental divide, with high snow loading in the alpine areas, and drier conditions east of the divide with higher continental winds along the eastern front. Glacier National Park ranges from Frigid, a warmer soil temperature regime around Lake McDonald, to Cryoc, a colder soil temperature regime of higher elevations throughout the rest of the area. The soil moisture regime is predominantly eutic, meaning wet. Parent material can dictate the properties of soil. Glacier National Park is primarily composed of metasedimentary rock, which is a type of metamorphic or heated and compressed sedimentary rock. The metamorphic rocks in Glacier National Park are from the Belt supergroup. Glacier National Park has large forested areas in the lower subalpine, and upper subalpine that are predominantly subalpine fir forest types. These forest types experience extensive infrequent fires with high severity. Collaboration with the National Park Service staff resulted in the use of over 1,500 points of vegetation field sampling data used by the NRCS to strategize areas to revisit with the NRCS Tier 3 field sampling of soils and vegetation. This metadata set of over 3,500 points was used to create the raster map of ecological sites. NRCS was able to field sample over 1,000 points of soil and vegetation data. Data included soil vegetation disturbance, physiography, and geology noted at each site to produce an integrated data set. Important vegetation attributes, collected in the field include canopy cover by ocular estimate, foliar cover using the line point intercept method, production, and forested sites also have basal area, site index of dominant tree species, and insect disease and fire evidence recorded. Important soil attributes collected in the field include soil horizonation, horizon depth, morphology, zones of leaching or accumulation, percent rock fragments, and other attributes. Data analysis is performed at various levels. The R program software can be used to do indicator species assessment on canopy cover per potential ecological site grouping, or analysis of soil pedons or at the series level and site attributes can be done through the NRCS database interface and displays of pedon comparisons pictorially. R is also used for raster mapping and analysis of variable importance of covariates, box plots to display differentiation between values of classes, for covariates, linear regression, and classification regression trees. The polygon map format uses map units that define the correlated soil components and ecological sites found within each polygon. The raster map uses digital soil modeling, which uses machine learning and raster layer data, a covariate stack of raster layers that are determined to be of importance to the soil forming factors for the area. Raster layers include elevation, slope gradient, slope aspect, terrain wetness, and satellite imagery that are used to inform a regression tree model of ecological sites. Each pixel, in this case 30 meter by 30 meter area, is classed to one ecological site that is correlated to a soil series, and the accuracy of the map is addressed at various scales, overall or at the class level or even at the pixel layer. This draft raster map is in the process of approval and refinement. The Storymap is an immersive product such as that shown below of the map tour. It has interactive maps, concept pages, sliders, and more. 43A Alpine Soil Fluxion Terrace Ecological Site is defined by the vertical striping of vegetation and gravels due to the downward movement of slope steepness, frost heave action with dry site conditions. The Alpine shallow meadow with shallow soils, moderate snow holding capacity at the base of pluvial slopes with a vegetation of forbs and sedges and grass species. The Alpine unstable Talus ecological sites defined by the slope movement downward of Talus and the vegetation species adapted to this movement. The Alpine Krumholz Coniferous Ecological Site, which is defined by the severe cold high elevations that cause the Krumholz growth form of the typical whitebark pine species. The Upper Subalpine Cold Coniferous Ecological Site, which has forests typically growing in the ribbon formation due to geologic and geomorphic controls and are dominated by subalpine fir, with an understory of the cold indicator plants, including grass whortleberry and pink mountain heath. The subalpine avalanche ecological site, which is defined by the process of avalanches that preclude tree establishment through the force of moving rocks, snow, and debris down the chute and into the lower slope runout area. The lower subalpine coniferous cool moderately dry ecological site, which is the forested ecological site, which is one of the most expansive in all of Glacier National Park. The Montane Fen Ecological Site, which are depressional areas within larger valley landforms with high water tables and accumulations of undecomposed or partially decomposed organic matter dominated by sedge species. The lower subalpine frigid coniferous ecological site, which is the iconic western red cedar and western hemlock forests around Lake McDonald. A special thanks to all who contributed and collaborated to allow these products to come to fruition. That includes the National Park Service staff, the National Park Service SGI staff, the NRCS Missoula, Montana MSSO staff, the NRCS NEST staff, and DSM cadre. Thank you to all.